Now then, a quick run to India. This is a pretty interesting story, and it came really as a complete surprise. No one expected this. India's government has withdrawn 500 and 1,000 rupee notes from circulation. Now, this is part of a wider set of policies designed to crack down on rampant corruption and counterfeiting as well. The surprise move also aims to bring billions of dollars worth of undeclared cash into the banking system and the mainstream economy as well, while crippling the finances of militants who have targeted India over the last couple of years. Now, they are suspected of using counterfeit 500 rupee notes to fund the operations. That said, nearly 40% of India's economy is made up of businesses run by SMEs, which largely run on cash. Economists say this move will have a huge impact on those businesses, and in turn it might have a knock-on effect on economic growth as well. They say the move could also affect hundreds of millions of common citizens who do hold quite a bit of their savings in cash. Let's find out exactly where we move from here. Shweta Bajaj is joining me now live from New Delhi. Shweta, this is a pretty interesting policy idea. Give us some background, especially in terms of social and economic context, as to why this was necessary at this time.
If you look at Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech, there are three reasons he gives for coming up with this new scheme. First of all, like you mentioned, funding of terrorist organization and buying of arms for waging a war against India. So that's his first reason. Second, there's a lot of counterfeit currency anyway floating around, not just in India. You would also find Indian currency in Nepal and other neighboring countries where it's used freely. Sometimes it's also preferred over the local currency. Many a times they were fake. And in most shops here in India as well, you had to check really if that 500 rupee note was fake or not. But it wasn't large enough really to have a massive impact on the economy. That is clear. But the most important reason was black money. Indians have millions and millions of dollars stashed away in black money. Now, how is that black money stashed? Most of it is actually in offshore accounts. Some of it might be in India. This step is being seen as really wiping that out and weeding it out completely. People were given only 4 hours till when they could use the 500 and 1,000 rupee denomination notes within the country. After that, they have become illegal. They are being used in few instances. For instance, you could go to an airline and buy a ticket till about 24 hours, but that's about it. From here on, people can go to a bank, exchange their money, but that can be done only within the next 50 days. There's also a limit being given to how much money can you put it, and above that, there would be a scrutiny that would be done. Pretty interesting idea, but it will come to know in the next couple of months how it pans out. The new currency note, though, could come under question. There will be new currency notes coming of 500 and 2,000 rupee denomination. Remember, 2,000 would be the highest denomination here in India.
Indeed. That leads me neatly into my next question. I mean, if you've got a new 500 rupee note coming in and an even bigger denomination note on the way, doesn't that fundamentally undermine this policy, at least in the long run?
Well, that's what critics are saying. If you look at the fact that if you increase your currency, which is if you launch a new note, which is double the size of your maximum note right now, which was 1,000 rupee till a couple of hours back, that basically means in long term you could also be looking at depreciating the value of your currency, because really strong currencies do not have notes of higher denomination. So that is one. Secondly, the reason for it being given is there was some time back there was a proposal put forward which included notes of 5,000 and 10,000 rupees in India that was eventually shot down. It's being said that 1,000 rupee notes are, remember, not used very often in India. An average Indian actually spend less than half a US dollar every day. So there was a question being asked whether we need such high denomination currency at all, which would basically mean that your black money goes down because it's very difficult to actually store it in lower currencies. But the 2,000 rupee note could create a problem, but the 1,000 rupee note will not be existing. But even to create black money, it takes at least one financial cycle. So that would take its own time before a financial cycle takes over, and then black money could probably be created all over again.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for the update. That's Shweta Bajaj live in Delhi. It's a fascinating experiment, of course, on fiscal policy. We're looking forward to see exactly how that works out over in India.